Setting up an ADGM foundation is often considered after families or investors realize that holding valuable assets personally can create unnecessary complications. The complications can be related to wealth, shares, property, investment portfolio, or cross-border interests that may sit under one individual, which can lead to probate delays, fragmented succession, and unclear control if something happens to that person unexpectedly. As the wealth grows, many families use an ADGM foundation to create that structured layer above the assets. My name is Shiraz Wahid and I'm the co-founder at Lepidus Wealth. And in this video, I'm going to explain how to set up an ADGM foundation step by step, what documents are usually required, how the process works in practice, where the banking and governance needs attention, and how to structure it correctly from the start. Before you start the setup process, it is important to understand what an ADGM foundation actually is. It is a separate legal entity established within Abu Dhabi Global Market. It can own assets in its own name, continue beyond the life of the founder, and operate through formal governance rules. Unlike a company, it does not have shareholders, and unlike a traditional trust, it has legal personality. This means it can contract, hold title, and operate as its own entity. This is one of the reasons many international families prefer it when they want a structure that is familiar to banks, advisors, and counterparties. And it often fits into the wider planning that includes wills, holding companies, trust, or family office arrangements. The next step is deciding why you are creating it, because the correct structure depends on the objective. Some foundations are used for succession planning, while others hold shares in operating companies, to ring-fence investments, or to own real estate through underlying entities, as well as centralizing governance across jurisdictions. If the purpose is unclear, the document often becomes too generic, which can create issues later when banking, distributions, financing approvals, or decision-making needs to happen. A foundation should be built for clear purpose, not set up first and worked out later. Because when the objectives are clear, governance, ownership, and banking becomes much stronger. Now, once the objective is clear, the next question is what assets the foundation will hold. This may include Dubai company shares, offshore companies, brokerage accounts, property holding entities, intellectual property, or family investment vehicles. In many cases, assets are not transferred immediately, and a phased approach is often more practical. Existing banking arrangements, tax residence of the founder, financing terms, shareholder agreements, and foreign reporting obligations may all affect the timing. And moving shares in an operating company may require lender consent or partner approvals before any transfer can happen. An ADGM foundation needs clearly defined roles, including the founder, council members, beneficiaries, and in some cases a guardian, with the council responsible for managing the foundation in line with its charter and bylaws. This stage is critical because governance determines how effective the structure will be in practice. If one person controls everything informally, the structure may appear weak, while too much fragmentation can slow decisions. A balanced governance model gives clear authority while maintaining oversight, and forward planning is essential so that if council member becomes unavailable, others can approve banking instructions, sign resolutions, and manage ongoing responsibilities without disruption. The formation documents of the foundation are not just formalities. They define how the structure operates over time. The charter sets out the constitutional framework, while the bylaws deal with governance, beneficiaries, power, succession, and decision-making processes. This is where tailored drafting becomes important because different objectives require different provisions. A structure designed for inheritance planning will not be identical to the one used as holding platform, and areas such as distribution, reserved powers, and succession of control should be carefully considered to avoid limitations later. As a regulated jurisdiction, ADGM requires full due diligence before the formation. This typically includes identification documentation, proof of address, source of wealth information, and details of intended structure. Where multiple entities or jurisdictions are involved, additional documentation may be required, which is a normal part of operating in a regulated environment. Proper preparation at this stage reduces delays, as incomplete information or inconsistent records are common reasons application takes longer than expected. Next comes the discussion of application submission. Once documentation is complete, the application is submitted to the ADGM for review. Timelines depend on the complexity of the structure and the completeness of the information provided. Straightforward cases may proceed efficiently, while cross-border structures or regulated elements may require additional review. After approval, the foundation is registered and can start operating, allowing resolutions to be passed and implementation steps to start. Now, registration alone does not make the structure functional, as it must operate with the financial system. This includes opening bank accounts, maintaining records, and establishing proper administration. Banks will assess governance, source of funds, and the commercial rationale behind the structure, which is why clarity in documentation is important. A well-structured foundation with clear decision-making authority is generally more acceptable to financial institutions. After operational foundations are in place, assets can be transferred into the foundation in line with agreed structure. This may involve share transfers, ownership changes, or assignments depending on the asset type. Each asset class follows a different process, and approvals from banks, custodians, or regulators may be required. Tax residents, domicile, and reporting obligations should always be reviewed before execution to avoid unintended consequences. The final step is ongoing maintenance. A foundation is not a one-time filing. It needs annual compliance, governance records, renewals where applicable, and proper decision documentation. If family circumstances change, children becomes involved, assets are sold, marriages occur, or residency changes, the structure may need updates. Good structures evolve with the family rather than remaining static. Regular reviews help ensure the foundation still matches the commercial reality and family objectives. Ultimately, the strongest foundations are not the ones formed fastest. They are the ones designed properly, governed properly, and coordinated across jurisdictions from the start. So if you want our help and would like to explore whether an ADGM foundation fits your situation, you can request a personalized asset protection plan by clicking the link in the description below. That's it for today, and I will see you in the next video.